I'm really excited to be with you all at IBCM8 in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. It's going to be an exciting time as people from all over the world meet together to consider God's calling in their lives. I've been asked to share with you who I am, what I'm looking forward to at the conference, and something of what I will be sharing. My name is Ramez Atallah. I'm an Egyptian, born and brought up in Egypt in a very rich family, one of the richest families in Egypt. And when the socialist revolution took over in Egypt, the government nationalized all our property. That means they took away my grandfather's factories and companies and trade lines and hotels and left him with nothing. He escaped the country. We followed him to Canada and came in as refugees in Canada in the early 60s. I came to know the Lord in Canada. I had come from a nominal Christian background in Egypt, and I came to know the Lord through Ebenezer Gospel Chapel in Montreal, through the love and concern of the young people in that church, how they reached out to me as a lonely foreign student trying to adapt to a new culture and a new country. I was discipled through Ebenezer, and then as a student at university for 6 years, I was very involved in the InterVarsity Christian Fellowship, the Christian group on campus. I learned a lot about myself, about the scriptures, and about evangelizing the whole campus and being responsible for that. I went on to study at seminary and then led the English and French speaking InterVarsity or IFES or UCCF ministry in the province of Quebec. And in 1980, I went to Egypt to lead that same work in Egypt and the Middle East for 10 years. And in 1990, I took over as the CEO of the Bible Society of Egypt, which I just retired from last year, and work as a volunteer consultant and a mentor now. I've been asked to share with you also what I look forward to at the conference. There's nothing more wonderful than meeting Christians from all over the world, listening to them, praying with them, thinking with them, and learning from them. I look forward to being encouraged, to hearing things I would never have known about, to meeting with people whom our paths would never have crossed if we were not there. Maybe the times at lunch, at coffee breaks, and spare evenings will be very precious and meaningful. We're not there only to hear people speaking, we're there to interact, to get to know one another, and to create a unity across cultures and different people's languages and situations. Now what I will be sharing with you will be the morning Bible teaching. I'll be speaking on some of the I am statements of Jesus. The conference focuses on the fact of the love of Christ constraining us. And we're going to focus on Jesus, our Lord and Savior. We're going to focus on who He says He is and how that relates to our daily lives as Christians and how that motivates us for vision. For example, He says, I am the light of the world. In a dark world, we need Jesus' light. But Jesus said not only is He the light of the world, but we are the light of the world. So as Jesus is the light for us, we become the light for the people around us who need to know the light of Christ in a very dark world. In a world that has lost hope, where people feel hopeless and worried and anxious, Jesus says, I am the resurrection and the life. Nothing can separate us from Christ. He shows us the way to heaven, and He wants us to tell people how He can be for them the resurrection and the life. And then in a world that has lost its sense of leadership, where there are no more real leaders we look up to, neither in the church, nor in politics, nor in countries, we're not seeing too many leaders that live the kind of lives we would want to live. Jesus tells us He is the good shepherd, the loving and caring pastor, the one who is willing to give His life for the sheep. And we need to emulate, to imitate Jesus if we want to be the kind of leaders God will be pleased with. And finally, in a world that has lost its moorings, where there are no more agreed upon standards, rules, or ethics, Jesus says in what is probably his most politically incorrect statement, and one that's harder to understand by 21st century man, he said, I am the way, my goodness, the only way. What a presumptuous statement. I am the truth. Wow, in a world that has supposedly many truths, he said, the truth. And I am the life. That's a remarkable statement, one that's revolutionary, one that's shocking. We're so used to it, we don't realize how some pagan friend of ours listening to this would be completely scandalized. We're going to see Jesus as he presents himself as the answer to the lostness of the world, which has lost its moorings, and he's providing us the opportunity to stand on solid ground and to know how to live in the world he created. Looking forward to being with you. May the Lord bless you and be with you and bring you safely to Kuala Lumpur.